collection videos. Fuck. I don't think that's a good opening, but fuck it. I'm going with it. So these trains are not going to be in a specific order. I'm going to say when I got them. Well, not exactly when, but how I got them. I'll also be showing off, well, I don't necessarily want to show off any trucks or coaches, but I will if they're kind of characters, so Annie and Clarabelle may be included, the express coaches, and let's just get into the video. Okay, so I think it's only fair enough if I start off with the Thomases. So, here is the first Thomas-ish, because I believe this is an E2 body, I just added a Thomas face to it. So, and I got this at a railway, the Tanfleet Railway, I think that's the name. This Thomas I got in a ginormous wooden railway pack, because I was looking on eBay for Thomas packs, well, because I wanted some Thomas characters. There was this one that was on bid, went for £150, don't have that money. And then I looked at another one, it was collection only, and we're not driving 5 hours. So I found this one, had engines 1 to 8, didn't have Percy, but I was able to get Percy. It also had a motorized Thomas, which that will be shown in part 2, because I'm not getting it out of the big drawer. So now finally on to this Thomas. This Thomas was in a pack with, I think, Oliver or Toad, because I was looking for Oliver, Donald, and Douglas, because they weren't in the big pack. So nothing really else to say about this. It's an old Thomas. Next! Okay, let's get these guys out of the way. Next up, I'll do a couple more characters, so... Oh fuck, I guess I'm just going in number order then. Come on, where's Gordon? We'll have the the free railway engine. Fuck! The free railway. Railway. You know what I'm fucking saying. So, Edward. Yet again, got this in the big pack. Same with Henry and Gordon. Don't necessarily know what to say because you've already seen all these models before, like with overview videos. I guess with these guys, I would say stuff about the series, the Day series with Steven and his friends in it, but I don't necessarily plan out the episodes. I knew episode 2 was gonna have Edward, but that was it. That there was no plans to introduce Henry and Gordon in the second episode, but I did anyways. So that means in the next video I can have Percy and Toby and Duck. And I decided to show Douglas. I don't know why, but let's go over Soda Productions. It is because he uses this Henry. Racist prick. And finally, Gordon. Fucking Henry, quit falling over. Which I think with Gordon, I will also show off the coaches. Because quite frankly, I don't know when I'm gonna just shove these in. So, it's the standard Gordon, standard Annie and Clarabelle, and 2 painted express coaches. Annie and Clarabelle were also in the big lot. And Gordon's getting stuck on my charger. You can really tell I don't plan these videos out. Okay. Next. Okay. Ah, you thought it was going to be James, didn't you? So this is 15. He doesn't have a name. And if you can hear a beat in the background, it's my next door neighbors. So got this guy and his tender, but I usually show him off without his tender at Asda, and that was like years ago when I was 6, and I was first getting Wooden Railway items. Didn't even have Thomas, and this was my Thomas model. Thomas was my 3rd model, and it wasn't even the good Thomas, it was a Thomas Wood Thomas. You'll never guess what my first item was. Let's get this guy out of here. And it's Spam Cam. So Spam Cam and James were both in the big bundle. Now I did not see Spam Cam. So when I opened up the box, I was like, huh, Flying Scotsman, Spam Cam. Oh, didn't realize he was in here. So that was a welcome change because all I had was Steamies. I always have a snotty nose when I make these. Alright, great, and I have a cough. So, yet again, nothing else to really say about these two. I mean, they're just the normal engines. Next! I bet you weren't expecting, but he's the only Ironworks twin I have. Now, I got this at a yard sale. Oh wait, Thomas was my 2nd model, and Bert was the 3rd. Yeah, Bert was the 3rd. Yeah, that Thomas Wood item was the 2nd, Bert was the 3rd. And I got him at a yard sale with a whole bunch of other engines. And I made a joke with my dad. I went to the yard sale with my dad. I opened the box. A couple of the take and play items were sticky. I have no idea why they were sticky, by the way. And I was like, God damn it, the guy fucking nutted on these before giving them to me. And me and my dad laughed. Like, because my dad wasn't expecting me to make that joke, so we both just thought to laugh. Good times. Next, and I bet you wouldn't expect Skarloey to be up next. I got this guy with another engine for only £15, which is quite good for 2 nearly mint condition engines. Skarloey is also just one of my favourite now gauge engines. Next up, Douglas. This is a fake. You can tell with the face and how the domes are placed. You can also tell with the feel, but you can't necessarily feel the engine. When Douglas comes, when Donald comes up, I'll do it side by side. Okay, let me get the next engines. Okay, got the next engines. So this is the Bullet Train engine. This was gonna be a Gordon model, but then I decided, no, that's stupid, and I just decided to make it a Connor Caitland. And I'm actually using its wheels from a 2nd one I got with that big pack. There was a lot of engines in that big pack. There was a motorized Thomas, which I'm not getting out till 2nd part. So this was just a tender engine that I just had. It was quite good because I was sometimes use it as Henry. Nothing else really to say about him. I mean, I don't remember where I got him from. I think I got him off of Amazon. Next up, my only custom engine so far. This guy was originally Gordon, which you saw on the older video, which you saw on the Edward's 80th birthday. Yeah, he was originally Gordon with the 2 painted express coaches that I repainted. And repainted him into a black livery because I was getting the over Gordon. Because I was like, I would have kept him in blue, but he had the number 4. Now you may be thinking, well, why didn't I just paint over the number 4? Well, the school paint might have been different, and if I painted over the 4 and it wasn't the correct shade, I would have to paint over the entire thing. So it's like, I'm just gonna paint him black. Black and gold striping. Which I quite like how this guy came out. I was gonna use him as a Douglas until my Douglas came. That being this guy. Honestly, wouldn't have been half bad. Okay, I've gotta move all these guys again. I just have a ginormous line of the characters. Next up is Donald. So, yeah, it's just Donald. I mean, let's have the comparison with Douglas. Domes in different places, and you can clearly tell if the nameplates faces are different. But this will actually fit into what I'm gonna do with Donald and Douglas. Instead of them being twin engines, they're brothers. Oh yeah, and Douglas had his coupling switched around. So they're just gonna be brothers with slight design details being different, like the dome placements and the quality of the paint. Because having just a normal Donald and Douglas would be just samey. So yep, that's the Scottish brothers. Next up is Duke, one of the more recent characters I have gotten. Duke from an eBay listing. Oh yeah, the painted engine from Asda, Donald from an eBay seller, Douglas also from an eBay seller, Duke eBay seller. Now, it was very hard to find an actual Duke, because most Dukes either had just the tender or just the engine. So I got this one for £17, I think. And I don't regret it. Duke is a very good model, and I do have plans for Duke in the series. Same with all the other narrow gauge engines. Okay, I gotta move all these around. Okay, now we have some of the original characters with 2 narrow gauge engines. So first up, Linnaeus. And yes, I know this is the Linnaeus everyone hates, because it has the wrong face, has the wrong wheel color, has just the wrong color. But it was the it was the only Linnaeus I could actually find that was cheap and also looked good. And also, I think it does give a good contrast to Scullery. Now where's Scullery? Because I don't know why, I just kind of like them together. Like, Scullery's the bright red, Linnaeus is the dark purplish red. So I don't mind Linnaeus having that color. I think it makes them more unique. Okay, now onto the more custom characters. So basically characters who just got a face or a hat. So here is Red 4 and Green 2. You already know him. I gave him a hat because I thought it looked good, and also because I like the look of him. These 2 do not fit on the fucking turntable. So I have to use a special piece just to turn them around. And this number 4, I was originally gonna paint into an Edward, like a custom Edward, but then I realized, wait, it's just gonna be painted black again, like what I did with Gordon. So I just decided now, I guess I'll just have just a normal 2. Got this guy from the 10th Fleet Railway, and got this guy from an eBay seller. The fuck? I accidentally spilled my drink. Yucky. Well, that's not gonna stop me. So next up is this diesel. The couplings are backwards, so that's why it is backwards. Has a dot face. Oh yeah, and for red 4 and green 2 has a take and play Donald and an Earl Henry. So, nothing really to say about this guy. Can't really say where I got him from, because I got him off someone at school. Next up, Stevenson's Rocket. He has his hat back, and also this Lego piece. Got him from the Ginormous eBay lot. And originally he was going to be one of the characters. I was like, I'm not going to use him. But then when I started up the YouTube series, I was like, he'll be in the first episode. And then I realized, wait, how am I actually going to write him into it? Because he's here with all the other living engines. And there was an engine before him. So my plan was, Steven was really the first one, but he'll put down as the third one. So that means Foxy could get the budget to make some more. So he made him shittily on purpose. And there's another Stevenson's Rocket out there. Like he's just part of the class. Like you can tell I don't think stuff out before I film it. So next up we have is the number 1, who is really the number 2. Because Steven was number 1. So this guy's number 2. An Earl James face. Because I had a spare Earl. Also had a spare Earl Henry. So I just didn't want to mix up the ones that I did use and the ones that I didn't use for normal play. So got this guy at the National Railway Museum. Can't remember where the Railway Museum is, but it's quite far from my school. So yeah, this is just the engine. Now you may be thinking, well, why don't I show off the old green variant? I'm not doing that. Now next up is my second newest, being Rusty. It's just Rusty. Like, nothing else really to say. Got it from an eBay seller. He came on Thursday. Yeah, nothing really to say about Rusty.